Welcome back to Morning Express, our lifestyle segment this morning. It's all about relationships as we do every Wednesday lifestyle. Today, I'm joined by a young couple. They got married very young, and they'll be talking to us about their relationship, their experiences, and also finding the one. Are you one of those that believe there is that one for you out there somewhere? Or are you one of those who's really pessimistic and think, you know what, make it work with whoever lands in your airport? We'll talk about that as well. And joining me is Ernest Wamboye and Waturi Wamboye. Thank you both for making time to be here. We'll talk about your book as well. But let's start with, you guys look first really young. Yeah, start us off with your story, how you met and to marriage.
Well, Waturi and I met at the Alliance Française. It was just after high school, and we both did French. And so she was introduced to me by a mutual friend, her cousin called Doreen. And we found out that we were going to the same university, USIU. And when we were going to USIU, Turi did not receive her orientation papers yet. So when she found out I was going to USIU, she asked me for details. So I helped her out and we became friends. Then I had my fears going to school, campus, because I was afraid. I was thinking, oh my goodness, I've heard so many things about campus. I'm afraid. She had similar fears. And so now, you know, we just kept praying, Lord, give me
You
friends.
came together in the fears.
Exactly.
And helping each other cope.
Yes. So we became friends, and we became friends for 1 year. In our first year in campus, and then we began dating in our second year when we were 19.
When you were 19?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Around 20?
Yes.
And then got married when?
We got married 2 weeks after our graduation.
So you dated for
2 years, 8 months. Okay, courted for about half a year, and then graduated. Then after 2 weeks after our graduation, we walked down the aisle.
All right. Waturi, when is it you knew Ernest is the one you want to spend the rest of your life with?
First and foremost, I liked qualities I saw in Ernest. Ernest was very honest. Ernest was very genuine. And Ernest was very genuine about my weaknesses. He would tell me, Turi, you know what? I think you close people out of your circle, you know. And I thought, nobody has ever told me that, you know. And I liked that he challenged the very things I thought were within my space. You know, when somebody challenges you to be better and picks out things that you thought you didn't have, that really drew me to him as a genuine person. Of course, I liked Ernest's easygoing nature. Ernest had some qualities I think I admired that I didn't have, so he helped complement what I already had. And he was fun to be around with. He's very good company. And of course, we share the same faith. And I also like the nature. I think being Ernest as my friend helped make that decision because you're comfortable, you're in your own skin, so you can. So I think when I felt I'm really comfortable with Ernest, and then you see, oh, I really like Ernest, I like spending all my time with Ernest, and before you know it, you're in love with Ernest.
Yes.
And so when he asked me out, it was absolute yes.
Yeah. And for you?
When I met Turi, I was always skeptical of pretty girls. You know, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, pretty girls.
Yeah, she's very beautiful.
She's
extremely
the most
gorgeous.
beautiful woman I know. And when I was skeptical of pretty girls, when I met Turi, you know, I think I had this prejudice in my head, thinking that pretty girls are like this, they're mean, they're bossy. But Turi was very open. I mean, she was my friend. Just before anything else, you know, she just related to me like anyone else would. So I found that she didn't put herself on a pedestal up there, you know. She was very down to earth. That really, really attracted me to her. And then apart from that, Turi was always open to new thinking, you know. She'd grown up with her background and everything, but she always wanted to know, you who's different from me, what do you think about this? You know, where are you coming from? And I think she's a psychologist. Maybe that has to do with that. But she was very intuitive and always listened. You know, she's a very good listener. For me, since I talk a lot, I think I found that very attractive in her. And like she said, we share the same faith. We both have personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So that really drew us together because we're able to feed spiritually together. We're able to talk about the same thing. things concerning matters of faith and spirituality.
Okay,
Yeah.
which brings in then the question, because those who subscribe to that, also is, maintaining sexual purity until marriage.
Yes.
Well, was that the case with you? We'll begin with Turi now. I will call you Turi.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Sexual purity, virginity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That is what with Christians, that's what they subscribe to. That you maintain that sexual purity up to the point you got married.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
That's a decision you made?
Yes, it's a decision we made from the get-go. From the get-go, we said, Ernest, this is very clear. This is what is expected from us, from God's word and from our Creator. And so we set those ground rules. And so we said, okay, so what would help us walk in sexual purity? What will help us stay as virgins as you used to the altar? And so we had to have certain paths that led us there, because you don't just you're human, you don't just sit and you think, 3 years from now I'll be fine and then I'll get to the altar. No. I mean, you like somebody, you're attracted to them physically, and that comes with the territory, and so one thing that we said, okay, Ernest, to be pure we have to set some ground rules. I think we'd put ourselves in a compromising situation if we plan to hang out in secluded places. And what are secluded places? Well, we'd say, I think when we are alone in your hostel room or my hostel room, that would be compromising. And so we'd not meet there. So where would we meet? Let's meet in public. Okay. Another thing, I think it would be better to meet in groups. Let's socialize with people so that it makes it a lot easier to relate in a manner that will not, let's say, bring a lot of temptation when you're just the two of you.
So were you never together in you time, just the two of you?
Oh, we were. We had lots of us time, so to speak. We went for coffee dates on our own. We went for walks. We took a picnic. We went for picnics. We took drives. We once in a while went to see our friend in Nakuru. We just took that time. It's not that we realize with our sexuality, it's not that it's out of your control, it's within your control. But we actively decided not to put ourselves in, there's certain environments that just draw you to actually compromise. It's not that you cannot hang out together, you cannot sit together in one room when there's not. You can do those things, but when you're in a place like you're in your bedroom. And
those are some, by the way, of your lovely pictures. Our viewers who are watching on screen right now. Where was this?
This was my sister's wedding. The previous sister, this was our traditional wedding. It's called the Gurario. That's our graduation. That's just when we graduated in August 2012 from USIU. Oh, that's my best man, me and my best man. So that's me in the black tuxedo. Yeah, that's friends of mine from my high school, and
awesome.
Yeah, and that's the lovely bride.
And look at that. Where was this? Where is this?
Oh, that's at my parents' home.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, as we continue to look at the other pictures, and of course we have our phone lines on screen. You can call in. This is a beautiful love story, started young, and it's amazing that at this day and age, you have people who consciously decide you want to maintain that sexual purity to marriage. We don't see a lot of that. I'm sure very many people are shocked to just hear that. But Simon is calling us. Simon, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling, Simon.
Yeah, that's a beautiful couple. Say hi to them.
Hey, Simon.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, but I want to congratulate you young people.
Thank you.
Because I stay in Risabli and the USIU is just next to me. And I say this, you have shown that young people does not need to hang around and pray, to have so many girls and so many boys to have fun. You can start and make a decision and have one lover at once.
Yes.
And that is a good way, because there is more things that happening in universities, as you know. So I want to congratulate you. It's a beautiful marriage, and keep it up.
Thank you so much,
Simon.
Thank you.
Let me say, how did you know that it's the right one for you? How did you know? How did you know?
All right, Simon. Thank you so much for calling in. Yes, you've talked about what, you know, attracted you to each other, and the things and the qualities is liked. But even the topic we're having, finding the one, very many people wonder whether there's just that one. Because for you, do you believe he's the one, like God ordained it from the beginning of the world as he created? It was like, there shall be an Ernest
for two. That's not true.
Yeah.
The aspect of the one in this aspect.
Yeah.
If there's only one actual person for you, Sophia, that would mean if they cease to exist, you cease to exist. That's the aspect of one. That means you cannot continue living, which is not true. So it just means that you have chosen this particular person to enjoy life with, but you know at the back of your mind, life will end, and so but you must continue with life, and so the aspect of the one seems not to hold much water in that regard. So that is the perspective I'd hold in that not being the one. I think Ernest, maybe you would add.
We always say this, there's no such thing as the one. There's no one person in all the planet that you just have to marry, you know. Many times that comes from a Disney mentality, you know. You have the Princess and the Frog, Shrek and Fiona, and you know, it sounds all romantic, but you know, when you say there's no such thing as the one, people think, oh my goodness, that's so unromantic. You know, that you're breaking the fantasy in my mind. But really there isn't, because imagine, Sophia, if there was one person for you to marry, and then let's say they married someone else, which means you'd marry someone else, the one, and then marry someone, which means the world is at a disaster. There is no such thing as the one, but there is such thing as the right one. Okay, you find someone who can complement you, someone who you can have a relationship with and it will work well, you know. And you know, there are certain characteristics that I think as an individual you have, and you should focus on looking for them in that person. And also, Turi and I say, our culture and our society is so focused on finding the one, but no one is focused on being the one. You know,
amen to that.
So it's time to actually be the right one. You know, when you're single, don't spend all your energies trying to look for someone to get to a relationship with. Enjoy your singlehood. Don't do something with it. Don't do something about it. Do something with it. You know, and when you focus on being the right person, deep calls unto deep. You'll attract the right person. Okay, and so you won't have to worry about, oh my goodness, shall I fall in the wrong bracket? Shall I mess up? There is no such thing as
so it shouldn't be a continuous, because you see a lot of that continuous cycle of trying to be hooked up by your friends, hanging out in places where you might meet this person. So I like that you bring out the aspect of part of the whole process, in essence, actually, is being that one. And what do you tell the younger generation? Because I think, you know, with a lot of borrowing from Hollywood and what's on our TV, it's all been messed up, the idea of a relationship. For young people who are dating, and most, you know, perhaps are not thinking marriage, for some it happens, for some they really want to get married, what is the kind of advice you give to them?
Well, Ernest,
I can start. First thing, Turi and I totally advocate for sexual purity. It's not just because, oh my goodness, you'll get pregnant, you'll get a disease. Those are details. Those are details. That's not why we wait. You know, that's not why you should wait. A sexual encounter is such a powerful encounter. Sex is not just flesh on flesh. It is. I mean, the scientists would tell you that the woman's body produces oxytocin, the man's body produces vasopressin. These two chemicals meet, and the woman and the man become one, so to speak, physically. But also on your soul and on your spirit level, there are deep attractions and connections that are taking place when you get involved with someone sexually. Now, if you don't marry that person, if that relationship breaks, you will be devastatingly hurt. It will be so painful. And so people think that I need to be sexually compatible, you know, to get into marriage. Never. It's never works. I mean, Turi and I have not gotten to a place where we said, oh my goodness, I wish we knew, we should have started this. Never. And I've never met friends of mine who said, man, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. It doesn't happen. So that's one thing that young people should really hold in high regard. Apart from the multiple consequences that it has, you need to realize that it really binds you to that person. You become one with that person, and you're never sure that you'll end up marrying that person. You're never sure that you'll live the rest of your life with that person. And if they leave leave you, that they've gone with a part of you, and moving on just to the next relationship becomes so hard. And even if you do, you have so much baggage in you. And we look at sexuality as a gift, you know. It's a gift to your spouse on your wedding day. It's a gift that you should reserve for this one-on-one person. Yeah.
All right, I understand we have another caller online. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Amos?
My name is Amos.
Yes, thanks for calling.
I'm calling from Nairobi.
All right.
Yeah, when you provide the right person, it takes a lot of time. God is the one who gives. Another thing, respect is what needs to prevail in any relationship. Respect. You respect your son, you respect your partner. When you have that respect, there is no way you think about having sex before marriage. Hello?
Yes.
So if you respect your partner, and then you respect yourself, there is no single letter you talk about sex. Another thing, you will avoid being in a compromising situation. For example, you meet at night and then when you're at that corner, and then that will lead to sexual about that.
Right.
Another thing, hello?
Yes, we hear you.
I've been in a relationship for 2 years.
Yeah.
And we have never learned to have sex with my partner, and that is what has kept us going.
Okay.
The way they have said that's a reality. There's no reality. It happens. You trust God and then respect yourself.
All right. All right, thank you very much, Amos, for calling and for watching the show this morning. We'll have Lucy calling. Lucy, good morning. Okay, we've lost Lucy, but call back. Lucy, would love to hear from you. So yours sounds like this beautiful love story, meeting young, getting married, enjoying life. But how do you cope? Do you have hard days? Do you argue? Do you fight?
Oh, yeah.
Do you disagree?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, because, well, to start with, Ernest and I are different in personality. That's one position where we would disagree and where we would argue in how we do things. I would describe myself as a bit introverted, and Ernest is extroverted.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when we need to choose, like I remember when we were dating, and we had just come out, we had just had a huge event in school, and I was mentally drained. I was physically drained, and I wanted to just get into a closed space, to my room, and just rest. Ernest needed to unwind by meeting with people, and so I said, let's go meet people. I said, no, Ernest, we need to rest, you know. And you know, and it was a conflict because he told me, but Turi, let's go hang out. I'm like, no, Ernest, let's go rest, you know. And so, and I know we tussle for some time and say, you know what, Turi, we're both different. I at that moment said, you know what, I'll go meet my friends. I said, oh fine, I'll go rest. That was when we were dating. But now when we are married, we also have those disagreements. I think just in the matter, maybe if you want to choose where you'd want to, I don't know, spend a day, now we'd have to compromise, you know. We say, okay, today we'll spend time and go all out and be out there, and then one time we'll have a quiet evening. And so you come to a position of compromise, because in relationships, you try and gear as much to a win-win. Don't make be a win-lose, you know. And conflict in itself is not bad. Conflict grows you, you know. It's unresolved conflict that's the problem. Because now when Ernest and I would argue, say, okay, what's the problem? I feel like I'm losing here. I feel like I'm losing here. Okay, so where will we both win? And then you learn from that. And so I also learn, you know, sometimes it's good going out with Ernest and meeting people, because I get to meet different people, and so your world is expounded. And for Ernest, you know, it's good to just sit in and have a nice evening, because you know what, I get to relax. You know, because Ernest said, you know, Turi, thank you, because I've learned to relax. Sometimes I don't realize I need to rest. That's you know. And so he says, that's you know, and so we've helped each other. So it has helped us in that regard. At least in regards to that. So we've had our moments. Also culturally, we're from different communities. So of course we'd have different ways of thinking about things, or different our backgrounds. I mean, we're all socialized differently. And so you'd have different. So that is definitely part of it.
Our time is just about up. But before we go, Ernest, you have this book. You have another you've penned down, Lust in the City. A guide on sexual purity. What do you tell the young generation, those those who are looking for love, want to find it, want to be in happy relationships, because we are relational beings.
Yes.
Everybody wants that special one. So in terms of the book and what you try to bring out, and also your advice to the younger people in finding love.
First of all, in that book, I share my weaknesses. I'm not a perfect person. Neither is Turi a perfect person. We've messed up along the way. We've had our own share of heartbreaks. And in that book, one thing that I do share with many young people is that we have made mistakes, and we need to realize that we are forgiven when we ask our Creator for that forgiveness, and that we don't need to hold to the mistakes of our past, because there are people out there who are thinking, Ernest, you know, I've already aborted. Ernest, you're talking about sexual purity, goodness. I've slept around with enough men that I can count. Ernest, I've already messed up. Ernest, I've got a disease. Ernest, I've got all these things. And to get to the point where you think it's hopeless. This book offers hope to let you know that, first of all, before you even sort out anything with anyone else that you've interacted with, you are forgiven if you ask for that forgiveness. And you don't need to earn for that. You don't need to earn that forgiveness. No, we are always taught we need to earn things, you know. But God comes to us and tells us, you know, I pour out my grace unto you. You are forgiven. You don't need to look at your past and think, oh my goodness, I will never make it. And secondly, it also rebukes the person who is pure, so to speak. And let me explain that. When I grew up, I always thought I was a good guy. You know, I thought, I'm such a good guy. I'm such a good guy. I've kept myself pure. I'm such a good guy. And God rebuked me, telling me, Ernest, fine, you may be pure physically, but look at your heart. You're a whore at heart. You know, the things that you think are the things that you do. So to remind us that purity is not just physical, okay? It starts in our mind and in our motives of heart, okay? And so apart from that, it also gives guidelines to anyone who's struggling with pornography, anyone struggling with masturbation, anyone struggling with sexual addictions, and they want to get out, you know? How do you get out of that? You know, I want out. It's draining my life, and you know it's not good for you, you know? So Last in the City is a book that actually does that to many young people out there who are feeling hopeless, who are feeling proud, and who want to just get out of the ruts that they are in.
All right. Finally, Waturi, young girls are looking at you and thinking, I want that. What do you say to them?
Well, I would say for ladies, one, especially just in relation to finding the one, you don't need to have any sexual relations or even have sex with a man to make you feel loved, to make you feel like the one. No, and he doesn't need to pressurize you to be that. Be the one in being, build who you are as a beautiful lady, as you are Sophia. If Sophia, you know, and everybody, you take time to reflect and say, you know what, I am this is Sophia, and who would Sophia like to be? And you take time with your Creator and say, I would like to be this. If you need to read books on that, if you need to take time with the right friends, because sometimes friends can really be toxic. You know, sometimes I think we make decisions because of the kind of friends who we hang around with. So just for ladies, who do you hang around with? Just check on that. And above all, love who you are as you are created. It's very important. Don't wait for a guy to tell you you're beautiful. Know you are. Know you are. And have fun with it, and enjoy it, and enjoy it, and believe in it. You know, and just surround yourself with people who have the same kind of belief system. Absolutely.
Excellent. Ernest, Waturi, Wamboya, thank you both for joining us this morning. We wish you the very best. Lovely story you have. And we hope many more are watching and are seeking to find the one. Mungu atawasaidia. Sindio?
Definitely.
All right. And thank you all for watching the show today, and all of your feedback on the entire show today, the conversation we had earlier as well on Newsroom. Much appreciated. Let's do this again tomorrow. God bless.